It is our traditions, ceremonies, and rituals. Each small detail carries a deep layer of our ancestors' wisdom. It is our pride, our treasure, our national encyclopedia. Let's turn the pages of this encyclopedia together. There is a myth which says that Father Sky appeared first, then Mother Earth, and in the space between them, the sons of a man appeared. They were the first Turks. It was always important for our ancestors to follow and pass our traditions to the descendants. And it is evident from the wedding ceremony, which plays a significant role in the Kazakh culture. Before the ceremony of the wedding itself, there are a series of special rituals of engagement, which we will describe in our today's release. The first visit of relatives-in-law is always an exciting event for every family. Every family wants to arrange an engagement ceremony. In Kazakh, it's called kudalık or kudatusu, following all rules of the steppe etiquette. As soon as the Kazakhs changed their nomadic lifestyle to a sedentary, many of its elements became a thing of the past. But despite that, some rituals are still performed. Here we should note that some rituals were performed at certain stages of engagement which could last for years. And nowadays, these rituals can be performed on the eve or at the beginning of the wedding. This is not treated as wrong actions, because today we have a completely different rhythm and style of life. The Kazakhs call relatives-in-law kudalar. The fathers of the bride and groom call each other kuda, and the mothers call each other kudagi. When one family wanted to arrange matchmaking, first they used to send Joly, messenger, with their proposal. If parents of the lady agreed on this marriage, they told Joly their positive feedback, discussed the approximate size of the kalim, and so on. And next time, the groom's parents and groom came and they appointed the date of the wedding. The groom was dressed in red clothes, either a coat or a headdress, so that everybody could understand that he was the groom. Another feature was feather of owl on his headdress. In some regions, relatives-in-law are greeted with ritual where people use the rope. In Kazakh, it's called Joly. On the way of relatives-in-law, the hosting family pulls the rope and the guests need to pay the ransom to overcome these obstacles. In ancient times, the bicolor rope was considered a sacred item, the boundary between birth and death, and it was prohibited to step over this rope. It is a symbol of the struggle between good and evil, and it's the embodiment of the umbilical cord of life.
Когда они уже приходят, то, конечно, родители невесты делают вид, что они не знают, почему они
When the
приехали.
matchmakers come, of course, the parents of the bride pretend that they do not know the reason of the visit of these guests. Because it's not ethical to show impatience or to show that they are happy. They pretend that they don't know anything. The matchmakers are treated here, they eat and drink, and after some time, according to the etiquette of the Kazakhs, the bride's father can ask the reason of the visit, and their king, poet-improviser, begins to play on dombra and sing songs, thus showing the desire to engage their daughter, and everything becomes clear. Parents do not respond at once. They pretend that they are thinking on this offer, and after some time, 10-15 minutes, they agree to become relatives.
Немножко думать. Так положено было по этикету. И минут через 10, как будто не думают, говорят, ну ладно, мы согласны.
In another joking ritual, the faces of kudalar, relatives-in-law, are spread with flour. In ancient times, they could be sprinkled with chalk and poured with water. It may seem strange and incomprehensible, but if to think about it, at first relatives-in-law are strangers, and it's not known how they will show themselves and how this can affect the future of the whole family. It is worth remembering that the protective magic underpins many rituals of nomads. For example, let's take pouring with water. As the researchers explain, the rituals of pouring kudalar with water symbolizes the act of intermarriage through cleansing with water.
Уже приближаясь к самому процесс, когда уже все эти формальности были оговорены, что есть жених, есть невеста.
When all formalities are specified, when both the groom and bride are there, then the rituals of the wedding itself started. There was a special ritual of seeing the bride by the groom. For example, the bride's side created some joking hurdles which he had to overcome.
Их могли по пути раздеть и побить, и много что жениха.
They could undress him and his friend and beat. The groom had to pay the ransom for each moment. Kolus tasu, holding hands of the bride. Shash sipau, stroking her hair. And he could see the bride only through kirege, wooden frame of the yurt. Jengias, daughter-in-law or sisters of the bride, controlled the whole process. They could take clothes of the groom and his friends and could ask for anything they wanted. After overcoming the obstacles, the groom could not go into the yurt where his bride was sitting, but he could see her only through kirege, wooden frame. And as I mentioned before, he paid the ransom for holding the dress, for holding the bride's hand, for stroking her hair.
Подержал подол платья, потом за то, что подержал руку ее, за то, что погладил по волосам.
The ritual was arranged among people so that they could see it. Through this ritual, the groom could show that he respected all rituals connected to the wedding and appreciated the fact that the bride's side protects her honor and dignity.
То, что сторона невесты оберегает ее честь, достоинство.
The Kazakh engagement is always accompanied with the serving of the ritual dish kuyruk bauer. It is snack cooked of liver and fat mutton, which is cut into small strips. As per European notion, the pierced heart is a symbol of love. For the Kazakhs, the liver is the part which shows their relativeness. During the treat, all kudalar try this snack with the wish to be well fed. Young women serve ritual meal called kuyruk bauer. It is snack cooked of liver and fat mutton, which is cut into small strips. The groom's side gives money. Some give 2,000 tenge, others 5,000 tenge. Relatives-in-law mutually treat each other with this snack, as if securing their relationship for many years. By serving this snack, the bride's side shows their happiness. The bride's parents also try this snack. How could the stranger understand whether the heart of the lady he liked was free? In the old days, there were certain elements in the clothes of the step ladies which could give a hint.
Будущая свекровь и ее женге, то есть ее старшая сноха,
The future bride was invited to the room where all guests were, and the future mother-in-law and her jenge, that is the elder daughter-in-law, put on her the earrings. In the northern regions, coral necklace was put on the lady together with the earrings. If you ask why, the answer is that the coral was considered a symbol of fertility. It was put on with the wish for future bride to have children soon. And the Kazakhs consider the best kelin, daughter-in-law, is the one who can give birth to many children and especially to boys. So after this ritual, lady was considered as engaged. This ritual was called a ketagu. A bunch of feathers of an owl was put on the lady's headdress. And this meant that this lady was already engaged and no other man could ask for engagement. Well, if to talk about the rings, then they are more typical for Europe. For the Kazakhs, the earrings are common. They are the main symbol of women. Therefore, there was one tradition. If there were only few boys in the family or they were not born at all, and if the boys were weaker and the girls more viable, parents put on the boy an earring to deceive the spirits, and he wore it until he reaches the age of 6 or 7. In ancient times, it was believed that spirits were indifferent to the girls. They certainly wanted to take the boy's life.
Женскому полу и непременно хотят унести жизнь мальчика. Поэтому так они хотели обмануть духов.
Mother-in-law tried to choose more beautiful earrings for the future bride. In the future, kelin, daughter-in-law, could pass them to her daughter or future daughter-in-law. This is another indispensable part of engagement and the return visit of relatives-in-law, the exchange of gifts, which is called kit. These gifts may be cattle or its monetary equivalent, carpets, jewelry, but clothes were compulsory parts of the gifts. This ritual symbolizes that families have agreed and both parties approve of the marriage of their children.
Они приносят кит, то есть подарки одеждой, ценными вещами.
Kit, that is gifts, clothes, valuable things which are given to the relatives-in-law.
Допустим, пальто хорошее, могут дубленку, это самое.
In addition to toimal, sacrificial sheep or horse, the groom's side can give the father of the bride, for example, a good coat or leather shearling. His brothers also receive valuable coats as gifts. For example, 15 to 20 people from the bride's side come to the ceremony. The groom's side should give them gifts, and subsequently, the bride's side gives the gifts when the groom's side come.
Барана, өлі, тірі, как бы и живым, и мертвым, то есть духом дома родителей невесты. Если живут в одном поселке, могут
They can bring a sacrificial sheep. In Kazakh, we call it öltere. It is a sacrifice to the spirits of the house of the bride's parents.
барана, сүт ақысы, замалако матери.
Sometimes they can give this gift in envelope, that is money equivalent. Also, the groom's side give the ransom for so-called mother's milk, the ransom that she nursed her daughter, and of course, toimal, for example, a horse or sheep.
Лошадь, которые могут с собой привезти. Но сейчас эта лошадь далеко некоторые, его это само конвертит в цену лошади дают.
Some families still remember that the main kuda, father of the groom, gave to the parents of his future daughter-in-law a necklace called kargabao, and the father of the future bride gifted a special chapan, coat.
Алғашқы келген кездерінде сол құлақтың енді бекітілгені, нақты кесілгенін әйгілейтін.
This chapan coat is called shege chapan, chapan nail. It is called so because with the help of this chapan, the engagement is, let's say, hammered and fixed.
Жақсы киім кигізеді, яғни шапан жабады.
Talking about chapan, we mean a good coat with a collar and the very fact of gift-giving. It should be noted that this coat does not fulfill only the function of an outer clothing, which can be put on, but also performs the great function of mutual gift-giving. Kit is the ritual of great importance in the exchange of gifts between kudalar, relatives-in-law. That's what kit kikazu means, to give kit.
Негізгі кәделердің алыс-берістің үлкен бір
Kiem, clothes, is a word, but kit is named so in connection with giving each other.
алыс-беріске негізген атауына байланысты кит деп аталыпты.
This is a ritual where only women participate. Kudalar bring korjin, a bag full of various gifts, clothes, fabric, jewelry, sweets. The mother of the bride distributes these gifts from korjin and kit between the relatives. Why do women take part in the gift exchange ceremony? The experts explain this with the fact that every woman is a thrifty, rational and clever mistress. She gives birth to the children and is responsible for the family's well-being. In addition, it is a good opportunity to get to know relatives-in-law better. The Kazakh engagement consists of peculiar rituals. It is an ethnographic performance where every word, gesture and subject are full of profound importance. Our people try to preserve many traditions, especially those which are related to family values. The Kazakh village does not exist in the way it used to be, and there are no nomads, wandering people. But most of prairie folkways and traditions still surround us. We follow them, but we not always know what they mean. Bahit Kairbekov, poet.